my grandfather has always told me, something you really, really want, you pray over it.
Right.
You touch it, you pray over it. I've done that with every car that I've ever had. And just pretty much anything in life, if I really, really wanted something, I pray over it.
Okay.
And if it's for me, it's for me. If it's not, God has something better.
Right.
I hop out the wheel like a fence. 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 I'm on the moon like a Jackson. I hop out the wheel like a fence. I hop out the wheel like a fence. I hop out the wheel like a fence. I strip the door like a lash. Boy, I'm a fiend out of hell. I just want to give me a mansion and live at the top of the planet.
All right, first we want to give a big shout out to Pitts Media for allowing us to come, use their facility, use their equipment to shoot our show, Classic Conversation. If you ever need somebody to film anything, make sure you reach out to Pitts Media, one of the best in the business.
Pitts Media.
I also want to give a shout out to Wait No More. Robert Rush and Toya Johnson got one of the best fitness apps that's out right now. If you're trying to get in shape, if you're trying to change your life and just be a part of a lifestyle, that's what you wanna join. Make sure you download that app. It got everything on there. My wife work on there, work with Hope. She's one of the trainers, so just make sure y'all tap in. Every Sunday they're at the mountain in Georgia. Every Saturday we're at the mountain here in Birmingham at Red Mountain. That's what's up. Let's get into it.
Alabama, let's work.
Welcome back to Classic Conversations. We got Khiari with us today. She owns one of the best daycares around. My daughter goes there and she learns so much. So we're gonna talk to her today about entrepreneurship, being an African American female entrepreneur, and just what she went through to get her business up off the ground and taking off. So welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got started.
Okay, so as Carlos has already told you, my name is Khiari. My story is pretty interesting. I started off as a school teacher. So I went to Auburn University,
Okay.
graduated in elementary education for my bachelor's and my master's. And I taught for 7 years.
Roll time.
No, 4 years.
Almost got it.
You did.
You got a problem.
When I was at Auburn, I worked at a daycare. So I loved everything about it. And I always dreamed that I would own one day, but just never really knew when, because I knew it would take some time. And so while I was at Auburn, I taught second grade for 2 years. And then when I moved to Charlotte, which is where I'm from, I taught first grade for 4 years. I'm from Charlotte.
I did not know that.
Yep, my dad, my stepmom, and my brother, they all still live there.
Okay.
But so my last year of teaching, which was back in 2017, I was just really over it. I needed a change. I felt like it was just the same day-to-day routine, never really having any more excitement.
Right.
School has changed a lot from when we were in school.
Definitely ain't got hard.
There is a lot of testing going on. They do a lot of beginning, middle, and end of the year tests. A lot of the kids are stressed out, and again, seeing first graders, 6-year-olds crying, not knowing if they're gonna go to the next grade, it was very hard. And so I came down and visited my friend's bakery. She was opening a bakery, Crystal from K&J's.
Okay. All right.
And I just fell in love with everything. Her contractor, who also was her landlord, he was out there, and I talked to him, and I was just like, one day when I open my daycare, I'm gonna call you. Like, you really got this thing rocking. Right. And so funny, he was like, my friend has a daycare down the street, he just closed. And so he was like, if you got time tomorrow, let's go by there and look at it. I'll call him up. And so I said, okay. So I went by there. And it was called The Perfect Place. So I was like, dog, I know, God, I said I wanted to do this, but like right now,
Be careful what you ask for.
He did, because at this time it was March of 2017, so I was home for spring break.
Right.
And my grandfather has always told me, something you really, really want, you pray over it.
Right.
You touch it, you pray over it. I've done that with every car that I've ever had. And just pretty much anything in life, if I really, really wanted something, I pray over it.
Okay.
And if it's for me, it's for me. If it's not, God has something better.
Right.
So I went on back to Charlotte, and I just started researching and I printed out this manual from the state, and I was flying back and forth, going to classes here.
Wow.
I was just making it work. I was still teaching, but I was making it work. And of course, it was towards the end of the year, so it was a little bit easier to kind of manipulate it all. But I just told my friend, wiped my entire 401k.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, I had to have something to live off of, even
right.
though I didn't have like rent or anything. I still needed to pay my car note, still needed to be able to eat, and that kind of stuff.
You was on faith for real.
Yeah, I literally just stepped out completely on faith.
Wow.
And so once I got that money, though, I called the guy who I had talked to at the baker. His name was Ty, and I was like, I'm ready. He had brought everybody in. We got everything up and going, and then I had my inspection with DHR October 6, 2017, and that's when we got our license. And that was kind of tough because you can't really do any type of heavy marketing until you get your license. You can say something like maybe coming soon, but as far as trying to like get parents and stuff like that, you can't do.
Wow.
So that was tough for me. And we sat. Once I got that license, I had my ribbon cutting ceremony with the chamber October 16th. And I sat there every day until December, probably 7th. I can't remember the exact day, but I had no kids. So I was literally freaking out. I was like, okay, I'm in this lease.
Right.
this loan money is starting to run out.
Right.
What am I about to do? I know. I was like, what am I going to do, Lord? What am I going to do? Yeah, I literally was trying to figure out, like, oh, God, I guess I need to maybe start a babysitter's club and just get some kind of revenue going.
Right.
But again, God is so strategic. He just, I really think he had me in like a faith war with myself and him.
Right.
Like, are you gonna trust me or are you not?
Do you really believe?
Do you really? Right. So around Christmas time, my landlord was hosting this event at the little gazebo area that we have, where there was a Santa Claus, and you could come and take pictures with Santa with your own camera, or you bring your own photographer and pay $10. And I think it was for like maybe 15 minutes. So I was like, can I pass out some flyers and candy canes, and assist the Santa Claus, whatever's needed. So I did that, and of course there were kids. So I was passing things out, and the parents were like, can we see inside? And this is like on a Sunday, in the afternoon. So I was like, sure. So I was doing tours. And that's how I literally that day got my first 2 parents, and then I think y'all may have been my third.
Oh, wow.
Man, I walked in there.
So how long was that process? You say you sat there without kids?
Without, from October to December.
October to December, okay.
So you had to stay focused.
I had to.
You had to stay.
I
3
had
months.
to.
Most folks would have been done giving up.
Right.
In 3 months.
And my mom, she was just so impressed because I would literally get up, I put my scrubs on, we were still wearing scrubs. And I would be like, I'm going to work. And I would just sit there, and I would drive around. I went to Publix, the YMCA behind us, the Career Center, and asked them, could I give them flyers, even Brooklear. And I was like, I need to just keep marketing. I would go on the news station. One of my friends was a news anchor, so she would give me some segment times. I would go in, talk about the massages that we were offering. And then I would say the biggest hit, too, for me was joining the chamber. I joined the Chamber of Commerce, and I networked like no other. I mean, anytime they offered me to go out and teach at a school or assist with their career readiness group, I would do that.
So for people who might not know what the Chamber of Commerce do, what is the Chamber of Commerce?
So the Chamber of Commerce, they have them all over. I'm a part of the Shelby County Chamber, and I'm on the board this year. So even that has helped me.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. So again, network. But really, the chamber is really good for small businesses. They really help promote your business for you. You pay a membership fee, and then you can set up like an account for your business where you can put resumes out there. It's almost like a mini Facebook.
Okay.
So are there any qualifications to join the chamber?
You just pay. I think your membership dues are $125 a year. And then they have different events every month for you to come out to and network. It's really just a big networking opportunity. And I mean, there's some
process involved with joining.
I think yes, you fill out your application online, but it's very, very simple. And I can help anybody who's interested in it. But it was huge for me because again, I would ask them, you know, if they were having an event, I said, do you mind if I sit up a table?
Right.
You know, and I didn't have much. I had tablecloth and I had my little business cards and stuff, and people would come by, and even though they may have not had children, they were sharing. And I will tell you, that's probably the biggest thing for me now is word of mouth.
That's it.
Wow.
Word of mouth. You don't even have to spend a whole lot of money on marketing,
Right.
Word of mouth
because
beat it
word
every
of mouth
time.
is gonna do it.
I'm gonna tell you, if anybody ever asks me, that's I mean, bro, look,
Word
I've
of
been
mouth.
to a lot of daycares when we had Carly. I'm talking about a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
One of them I ain't even gonna mention, but they should burn that daycare down. I ain't even gonna call the name, but it should be burnt down.
Yeah.
But when we walked in her daycare, man, it was like a model home. Like when you go to the
Really?
neighborhood, it was like I told Hope time we walked in. I said, I don't care what she say. This was Carly.
Had a
You
model
Yeah.
home
know what I'm
stage.
saying? 'Cause
Yeah.
I didn't
too, man.
no, Hope know more people than I do.
Uh-huh.
But I'm like, and then once you met the family, you and it was like, man.
Yeah.
So your mom is a
hands
part of the
She
daycare currently?
is. She loves it. And it's so funny. My mom retired from State Farm.
Okay.
And so once she retired, she was at home. She was bored. So she started subbing. So I honestly feel like God was setting
Setting
her
it
up
up,
too.
yeah.
She subbed for 2 years before this was even in the making.
Wow.
And she loves children. And so when I told her I was moving down here, and I told her about her, you know, being there with me, she just thought it was the greatest idea.
Really?
You know, some people, their parents are like, I ain't helping you not do that. You know, I'm not going to change no diapers. But
Best
She was
mom
ready.
in the
She
world.
was
That's what
was
I'm
all
saying.
in.
Yeah, she was ready.
was all in, and even till this day, like she opens every day. She closes every day. She just turned 64. I mean,
wow.
she can move around better than I can.
Wow,
I feel
that's
like,
good.
but yeah, she's definitely my rock. And she loves those kids just as much as I do. And I'll tell anybody, you know, having family work for you sometimes can be challenging.
Absolutely.
Right.
We've had our challenges, but I think, you know, it takes communication.
Absolutely.
And so we've, like I said, worked through that stuff. And I don't think I could have picked a better person to kind of assist me. Because even when I'm not there, she's there. She never complains about being there. So yeah, it's awesome.
How do
Shout out
y'all
to
deal
Mom.
with all them kids though? God, man, listen, I go in there some days, pick Carl up. I be like, I've been calling these parents. Hey, look, y'all come get these kids.
Right.
I'm not gonna do this today.
So how many kids do you currently have?
We have 52 children.
Okay.
52.
the max.
Kids.
You still taking
So,
kids?
but
or-
we only can have 48 a day. And
Okay.
so the reason we have a little bit more than that 48 number is because some of the kids come part-time. So
Gotcha.
what I do is I offer a 2-day a week or 3-day a week, and I pair you up as a family. So it equals a full-time spot.
Okay.
And it can be challenging. I know you were talking about how do y'all deal with all those kids. I tell anybody that I'm interviewing, you know, this is a service job. You know, you're not going to get rich. And
Right.
so I have to be very strategic about even like my teachers that I'm hiring. A lot of my teachers are retired. So they're not really looking for a whole lot of money. This is just something extra for them to do on the side.
Yeah.
My younger teachers, I tell them from day one, you know, I don't mind you starting with me, but I don't want this to be your end goal
Right.
unless you work to
That's
manage
dope.
me.
Wow.
Most
that's good.
most
Most
bosses
employers
don't
don't- yeah,
tell you
They
that.
don't.
Right.
And I tell them, you know, this isn't a job where you're gonna really make a living.
Right,
Like you're
right.
just not, you know. When you talk about apartments going up
Oh,
to
wow.
$1,800 a month,
Yeah, that's crazy.
car notes,
Yeah.
and then you don't even
Gas.
have any gas, you don't have no kids
Food,
yet, you
everything
want
is
to
up.
travel, you know,
Yeah.
because I believe that people should be able to travel, and just because you work at Vinehouse doesn't mean you should be able to go places.
Right,
And
right.
so I'm really, really big on and hard on them. A lot of my I'll say my younger teachers, 2 of them interned with me. Then they graduated from University of Montevallo. Now they're working on their masters.
Okay.
And so they are continuing to elevate.
Right.
And I do try to compensate them as if they were, you know, working in the school system
Right.
because
Oh,
it's
wow.
only fair. And that's another thing. I think paying your teachers, you know, I met with a couple of directors not too long ago. We were just talking about like what we start our teachers off, and they were like, "What? That's what you pay your teachers?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you know, if you want them to
Gotta be
stay."
competitive.
They,
right?
and
Right.
they're teaching kids like
Right.
it's the future.
Exactly.
If you're gonna pay
Exactly.
anybody, you want to pay the
Pay the
people who
teachers.
gonna,
Yep, and it's a challenging job.
Right.
So, you know, paying a minimum wage is just not an option. You know, you have to be just as competitive as Target, Publix, Chick-fil-A, you know, even sometimes Amazon.
Right.
So, because if not, they're going to leave you.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I tell them if you leave, I want it to be because you're going to something better. I don't want you to leave me and then go to another daycare because I didn't treat you right.
Right.
So,
right. And that make all the sense in the world.
Right.
So how hard was the process? Like if you could tell anybody else who want to start a daycare or got an idea of opening up their own business, how hard is the process?
It is challenging. I will tell you, if you don't know anything about kids, and I mean, you can't just be like a babysitter.
Right.
You really need to have that educational background. It's important because anybody could probably run the day-to-day business part, but when it comes to picking your curriculum for your kids, and even like the characteristics you want in a teacher, you need to have been a teacher before, and worked with other teachers, because all that is important. Again, it's not enough. Like when people interview and they say, "Well, I love children," I'm like, "Yeah, but what's gonna happen when little Johnny, you know, kicks you or whatever? You know,
you gonna knock little Johnny aside,
because that's what you have been seeing. Some of these parents, I mean, these teachers have been, you know, losing it, and so it's like you mentioned, it's a challenging process to get started, and so I would say you need to definitely have your background information. Also, research a lot. I mean, thankfully Alabama has a handbook, so it's a guide, and if you're licensed by DHR, you have to follow that guide. There is no getting around it at all because they come in, they do inspections, they're unannounced. I appreciate that though because it allows me to kind of have a manager. I've never felt like, oh, I don't need no boss. You know, even though I am in a sense my own boss, I still have people that I have to, you know, respond to. And it holds me accountable. So I say that, mentorship. I had a mentor that helped guide me. She owns 4 daycares here in Alabama,
that's dope.
Downtown. And I mean, I would go there and just listen to her. I would just even observe. I would just say, you know, I'm here in town. I don't have anything to do. I'm just gonna walk around and just observe you. You know, so
that's dope. She was even willing to help. You know what I'm saying?
She was. I even had a mentor in the accounting area. That's the person that kind of helped me with my business plan. They looked over everything, so that way when you go into the bank, you're knowledgeable about the terms they're using again. Because some people, they are gonna try to
absolutely
make it really high. You like, oh, this I don't know what this means, and it makes you look like you're not prepared. So even that kind of stuff, I would say, you know, just having your ducks in a row. It's definitely not a business where you just need to jump into it. You can make tons of money. You know what child care costs every month. But I tell anybody, and my dad has always had this motto. I come from a family of entrepreneurs. My dad, he has his own insurance company. My stepmom, she has her own group home, and then she also just started her trucking business. She has a dump truck. And then my sister, she's an event planner.
One of the best too.
And then my brother, he has his own photography and clothing line. So I will tell you, my dad, he's always preached to us like, you gotta crawl before you walk. You know, you can't just start this thing big. So even when we started, we only had 2 classrooms, 10 children, and it was 2 teachers. That's it. And I just worked my way up. Honestly, when Carly's class grew, that's when I grew. So when Carly's class turned 1 or 2, I opened the 2-year-old room. When Carly's class turned 3, I opened the 3. When she turned 4, so this is the first year where we had a graduation. Carly's class is like my class that has went all the way through.
Breaking ground.
It was better than some of the high school graduations. But I'm gonna tell you the difference.
3rd grade.
The difference I think is with it's just it feels different. Like even when you go in the daycare and then the stuff that she learned, she wouldn't have learned that at home with me. I tell you that right now. You know? We probably be just working on numbers if she stayed at home with me.
Bro, she's highly intelligent.
But it comes from of course her mom worked with her home, but from being out, she just started picking up on stuff from coming home, knowing Spanish words. She teaching me now. I don't know none of it. You know, so it's like it was just different. And a lot of the daycares that you walked in, I hate to say this, but they smell like baby crap.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? When you go through the front door,
Yes.
and it's like, it's just a breath of fresh air to walk, and then to know that you can drop the child off and you ain't got to worry about it.
Right.
That was the biggest thing for me.
Right.
It sounds great.
Yeah, and that was big. I think for me, I wanted to bring something new to Alabama. I always feel like Alabama is a little behind when you compare them to like larger states.
Right.
And so I always said, like, what are we lacking? And I feel like we were lacking quality. And even when I was here for the bakery opening, I was looking at the area in Alabama, and I was like, it ain't much out here. You know, it's a nice little area, but it's not much out here. So I said, this is gonna be nice, because I know what kind of families I wanted to cater to. And not to say that, you know, I don't like to work with families that, you know, have low income. Because even I've taught the richest in Auburn, and I've taught in Charlotte the lowest.
Right.
The school that I worked at in Charlotte, most of our students were Hispanic. And it was kind of it was a half magnet school.
Okay.
And I always told my principal, I said, you know, my first year there, I taught the magnet kids. I was like, I don't want to teach them. No, it's nothing against them, but I really want to help people that look like me.
Right.
And they loved that.
Yeah.
And they loved me. I loved them. And so even when I came here, I said, you know, I want something of quality, but I still want us to be able to attend. Yeah, you know, they should be able to be in something that's elite. They should be able to be in something that's nice. I love nice stuff, you know, and so modern was the vision, organic was the vision, and so even with my name, Vinehouse, I wanted something that represented growth and change and greenery. And I tell anybody, Vinehouse really came from my stepdad. He was talking to me about the scripture John 15:1, and how God is the true vine, the head of the house. And if you live according to His word, you'll always bear good fruit. Okay. So that's our motto at Vinehouse.
Right.
But yeah.
That's crazy.
That's dope. That's dope.
So, how many people do you currently employ?
We have 12 teachers.
12 teachers.
12 teachers. And again, like I said, they range all over as far as age. A lot of them are like family. Like my mom's there. I have a teacher named Miss Tammy there. She actually she is my sister's husband's cousin. So that's kind of how Miss Tammy came along. Miss Leslie, she used to be neighbors to one of the families that used to go there. And she had just retired, and she was like, oh, I can't stay at home. And so she's came, and I pretty much, between her and my mom, and Miss Tammy, those are my 3 administrators. They run it when I'm not there. They're the oldest ones. And then some of the other teachers, like Miss Rakita, she's been there with us for over 3 years now, and we love her to death. She's just amazing.
She keeps it straight.
She keeps it straight, and that's what I like about her. She's younger than the other 3 that I mentioned, but she really loves those kids. You can tell that she really loves them. I mean, even just from like doing their hair.
Oh yeah.
Making sure their shoes are tied and their face is clean before they walk out. And I've always preached that to them. Like,
I done took Carla to school before. Her hair tore up one day, and Miss Rakita be like, "Come here, girl."
Yeah, I tell them. I say, you don't know where parents are going. I know you guys aren't their mom, and you probably don't even get paid to do all this, but. You don't know where they're going, so if you can make sure their face is clean, their shoes are on the right feet, their shoelaces are tied, and their hair is brushed up, they may be going to the grocery store, and you don't want them to be just embarrassed. And so, but Miss Rakita, she's a phenomenal teacher. She really loves those kids.
So when we gonna get this school?
I know.
Listen, Carly got what to August? Is it August?
I thought this was a school.
They
learning over there.
I'm talking about kindergarten to 5 years old.
I know.
I need it because I don't want to.
It's definitely a dream of mine. I go back and forth. I tell people like, oh, it's a lot of work. It's really a lot of work. It's very demanding, and I can't imagine what it's gonna look like one day when I have children. But that's why, like this year, I hadn't really told a lot of people, but my mom and Miss Leslie are coming out of the classroom completely. They're gonna be strictly up front.
No.
They're gonna be strictly up front. Miss Rakita is moving to the 1-year-old class.
No.
Yes.
So you're
And
doing a
so
whole revamp.
I'm revamping because eventually I just got married in November. Eventually I want to have children.
Congratulations.
I thank you. I'm 34.
Congrats.
He's 35. So I'm like, Lord, it's
Congrats.
got to be before 40. And especially while I have a little wind still left. And so, but I pray about it daily because, you know, I'm like, I wanna do what I'm doing. I don't know if I want it to be too much larger though.
Right.
And when I say larger, I don't want to block my blessing, but I don't think I want 2 schools.
Right.
I would love to be able to build from the ground up
Right.
somewhere, maybe in Alabaster. That way it services the same families
Right,
in the
right.
surrounding areas. And maybe offer 2 classes of that age group.
Right.
So instead of us having the 5 classes, now we have 10. And then I would love to implement kindergarten. I would love to
We
implement
would love for you
kindergarten.
to implement kindergarten as well. We would
I know, but I used to say, like, you know, the old Thompson that they closed. And I said,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take over there. That's gonna be Vinehouse Academy.
Hey,
Okay.
go
But
get
they put the board there.
I
But
didn't
you
know
know,
that.
there's some space across from them. I had wanted the side where Hardee's and the gas station is on
Yeah.
because it wasn't as close to the train track.
Right. Right.
But that space, I've been praying about it.
That's
I've been
yours.
saying,
It's
like,
yours.
Lord,
Yeah,
is
speak it.
this mine? I
It
think
come.
they put a dental
Everybody
office.
go put some prayer on this thing. You hear me? Go put some prayer on this thing.
Yes, I'm like either that space or where they put the water company. So before I bought Vinehouse, I had talked to the guy who owns that land back there. He's friends with my old landlord.
Don't just run by that now.
I
You heard
know,
she said
I
she
know.
bought Vinehouse. Okay.
Yeah, I bought Vinehouse last year. Thank God.
Man.
It has been a blessing. It has shown me what home ownership is going to be for me and my husband. We're building right now a home. We've never had a house before, but Vinehouse has taught me a lot between the HVAC going out
Yeah.
these
Oh,
last few weeks, the mailbox being knocked down, having to continuously, have
It's
the grass
consistent.
cut.
It's consistent.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. But hopefully the Lord will allow me to build one day, have more classrooms, more teachers, and hopefully at least that kindergarten program. So
Well, whenever you do build, we coming.
okay.
I'm telling you that right
Y'all
now.
gotta have another one.
Ooh.
I tell Miss Hope that
Number 2.
all the time.
Listen,
we need another
Man,
one.
that little one is enough. Though. She
Carly
got-
gonna be the babysitter though.
Man.
That's the good thing. Carly gonna be the babysitter. She gonna be the driver.
Yeah,
Carly don't
she'll
need
help
a
out.
break.
She
She's
gonna
so
help
smart.
out.
She'll help out.
Smart, whatever. She don't need a break.
She'll be getting the dress.
Uh-huh.
Right. She like do photo shoots and everything.
Right.
Carly-
She'll be
Carly-
cooking everything.
Everything.
I don't
Oh
know,
yeah, I
man.
forgot about cooking. Exactly.
I don't know. I ain't made up my mind. I don't know.
I really hope y'all do. Her classmate Lennox has a brother on the way in
No.
December. So I'm like, see, and they're gonna have that little Ford or
Lennox got
higher
too.
giver.
I don't know, man.
Yep.
We gotta pray about it.
Yeah.
Like you
I'm gonna
said,
be
we gotta
praying
pray
because
about it.
I
No, don't pray. Don't
I'm
pray.
praying.
Don't pray. Just
Don't pray on that one.
Yeah, don't pray on that one. Just let God do what He gonna do on that one.
I know. You sound like me. I go back and forth. Some days I'm like, I'm good without them, but then I'm like, maybe just one. Maybe just one.
Especially when you deal with them every day.
Yeah.
So right. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
how.
That's
I don't
why
know.
I'm trying to take a step back so
Right.
I don't have to be there every day. I
Right.
hope to be able to work 4 days out the week.
But you got some good people though. Like
Yeah,
every
I
one of those
do.
teachers is some good teachers. So.
They are.
Man, sounds good. You be raving about it all the time.
I tell them,
Yeah.
everybody I talk to, like, where your kid going?
Right.
They got to go to Vinehouse. Like, you need to go to
Thank you.
Vinehouse.
Yeah. I appreciate
And that
it.
bakery too. You said with your K, what is
K&J's, and they're downtown
You
now.
went there.
Oh,
you
they
told-
moved from downtown?
Mhm.
Oh, they
They're not at the Alabaster location no
Seriously?
more. They have a nice shop. You know where Eugene's Chicken is?
Yeah.
They are next door to them.
Wow.
They are right, like-
Them milkshakes.
I'm not familiar
bumping.
with
Woo, that's so
Golly.
good.
From Eugene's?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not familiar.
From
Do you know where the
Okay,
new stadium
yeah.
is downtown?
Yeah, Protective Stadium.
So where they've got that little shop, whole little
What they
food
call it?
restaurants. There's a Mug Shots over
Yeah,
there.
mugshot. Okay, I know
And
the area.
Eugene's sits on the corner, and then K and J's is next to them.
Really?
But
They
yeah,
in the thick of everything.
Right.
Right?
they are.
Especially
they
with
are.
the word
I told
games
them.
coming
I
out.
said, you know, Saturdays you need some help. Let me know, cause I need a little extra money for
Right.
this house that I gotta furnish. So, but yeah, she's in a prime location too. And
Yeah,
then I
that's
mean,
big.
the milkshakes, the cupcakes, the die for good customer service
Yeah.
too. So,
Yeah, now as I said, the World Games coming.
Oh,
so
yeah,
she
in a couple
can get
weeks.
all the
About a
business
week
she
or two.
want.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep,
Wow, that's major.
yep, yep.
All right. Well, that's a wrap. We appreciate you for coming out. If you
Thank
got,
you.
Thank
tell
you.
everybody how they can get in touch with you if they're looking to put their kid in a daycare.
The best daycare.
Best daycare ever on Stanton.
Thank you. If you are looking to come out, definitely give us a call. Our phone number is 205-564-8564. You can email us at hello@vinehousenursery.com. We'll be happy to help you. If I'm not there, someone will answer the phone, and I'm always going to call back no matter what. I try to respond within 24 hours to my emails and my phone calls. So that's it.
All right, and we out.
All right.
Appreciate it.
I hop out the wheel like a fast. 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 I'm on the moon like a Jackson. I hop out the wheel like I'm fast. I hop out the wheel like I'm fast. I hop out the wheel like I'm fast.